Okay, thank you. Okay, so it's a great honor to be here. And when I was first asked to give a talk here, I was kind of hesitant. The reason is not because I don't know what I'm trying to talk. I mean, I do have some idea of trying to talk. But the problem is that actually I spent my whole last semester teaching such a course, critical thinking. So I need to squeeze that into 10 minutes. You know, I don't know how to do that, okay? So that's my hesitancy. Anyhow, so I try to give you a sense of what this is about. So actually, since this is about the great minds, so that's my title, What Makes Minds Great? Or actually, the more practical is like how you try to develop your mind, okay? So that's the kind of thing I try to talk about. So go straight. I mean, I think the three things: attitude, method, and material, okay? So first of all, you need to have the right attitude, which is always think, always question. And the method is not that, I mean, method, you need to have common sense and also scientific method. And then material-wise, you need to read a lot. Okay, so first of all, the attitude. Okay, since this is a mathematician's turn, next talk will be also given by a mathematician. First is a math question, okay? If my salary is plus 5%, increase by 5%, and decrease by 5%, is my salary not changed, better, worse? Okay, in this talk, I'm not going to give an answer or anything like that. It's a question, you know. Always think, okay? You know, it's easy to think that my salary is not changed, but think more, okay? What if I change, first it's a decrease by 5%, and then increase by 5%, okay? What happened, okay? Here's another thing, always you can think, okay? Actually, this happened about 2 weeks before, when I was in McDonald's, okay? Compare meal A plus single B, okay? So A is a Big Mac, and B is chicken nugget, okay? So you see, you get the same thing, right? If you buy this combination or that combination, you get the same thing, okay? Okay, so next time you go to McDonald's, think about this, okay? What's the difference between these two, okay? So anyhow, so this is the attitude, always question, okay? Probably, you know, some of you had this kind of question, but many of you probably never questioned this. But there's a question here. So this one, it was attributed to Goebbels. A lie repeated 1,000 times becomes truth. Most of you heard of this, right? Okay, the question, did Goebbels say that or not? Did he say that? Did he really say that? Okay, it's actually quite easy in the nowadays in the internet age. It's a simple Google way, actually. Many of these answers are there. You just need to find it. Okay? Actually, there's after I Google it, and I find the fuller version. Okay, this is the fuller version attributed to him. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it, and then there's lots of words in between. At the end, this is also often cited. The truth is the greatest enemy of the state. This is also attributed to him. Okay? Now, let me tell you what he actually said. Okay? In the 1934 Nuremberg rally, he actually said the following. Good propaganda does not need to lie. Indeed, it may not lie. It has no reason to fear the truth. What does it say? It sounds like the opposite of what is attributed to him. Okay? And actually, the following is a Nazi propaganda. This is a Nazi poster from 1940s. It was supposed to be, you know, the quote from about the Goebbels. The truth is always stronger than the lie. Okay? So, many things you take for granted and never think about. Okay, some other famous quotations, like Churchill said that the democracy is the least, the worst, the worst system or something like that. Okay? Did he actually say that? Find out, okay? Voltaire said that I don't agree with you, but you know, defend your right of speech or something like that. Did he actually say that? Okay, so why do we have such kind of things? Often we attribute certain things to great people or the greatest evil because we try to attach some authority to it. If it's spoken by some great people, oh, that says, okay, it sounds more true, okay? But when you think about that, whether a certain statement is true or not, it should be our own decision, okay? Think about whatever is attributed to Goebbels, although he didn't say that. A lie repeated 1,000 times becomes a truth. Forget about Goebbels, just that statement, is that true or not? Is that true? Just make your own independent judgment. Okay? No, okay, don't say it because it's associated with Goebbels, so somehow it gives you a prejudice about make a decision. Just think about that one sentence. Okay? Think about, ironically, think about the following. This people believe Goebbels said a lie repeated 1,000 times becomes truth. Okay? People believe this. This very fact actually tells you that statement is true. Right? Many people actually said that. I mean, not as famous as Goebbels. I mean, that was an observation made by many, many people, and I personally believe that. Okay? But you don't have to believe it, but it's your judgment. Okay? So that's the kind of attitude you should have. So there are many things. For example, have you ever thought about what is the best calendar? Okay? I mean, we use the Western calendar, but there's also Chinese calendar and many other calendars. Okay? Actually, I gave some popular science talk about this, and when I decided to give such a talk, I did some research, and I had my conclusion. You will see my conclusion, okay? And Newton's apple. That's a famous story, right? Yeah, but everybody knows apple drop, right? When you think about it. I mean, how reliable is the story? Everybody knows apple drop. Does it take a genius to actually see the apple drop, to believe apple actually drops? It doesn't take that. Okay? I mean, you don't need to see it to be inspired. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's not to be a fake story. I mean, that's my way of thinking about it. Okay? So many other things. I mean, these are some lighter things, but they're also the very, very important things. Okay. Also about the shooting picture, you see this oil spill, terrible. Okay. Is that really as terrible as it looks like? After all, oil is biodegradable. It's easily biodegradable. Okay. After the 1 or 2 seasons, it just went away. Okay. Well, think about that. I mean, sometimes things look terrible, but actually, when you have to look at the real impact. Okay. So also there's things like what's wrong with anything wrong with this Chinese eel? Okay. We often say that. Okay. What's wrong with the first character actually? It should be mind instead of heart. Okay. Some bigger questions like the corruption. Okay. What's the best way to eliminate corruption? I mean, suppose the corruption, we say we want to eliminate corruption, it's our ultimate goal, okay? It's very easy to achieve that. People just don't do anything, okay? That's the easiest way. Is that what you want to do? Okay? I mean, when you think about these kind of things, actually, sometimes it's common sense, okay? But you have to think a little more. Don't take it for granted. Also like the poverty, okay? I mean, actually, I always have a problem with poverty. I mean, when you say that, okay, I agree there are poverty, but what is the definition of poverty? If you define the poverty, people are, poverty as what is that? Half of the median income, something like that. By definition, many people are poor, okay? I mean, that's a definition. There's no way you can eliminate that, okay? So, anyhow, so also what you see, okay? So here's a picture I take, okay? It looks like a great mountain, right? You will see where it is, okay? So this is my hero, okay? Socrates. He said the following word, okay? And this is a picture when he died, and he was trial, and then he was by vote. The margin was about 30 votes, and he was voted to die, okay? But he is my hero. Anyhow, so the method, so I see that I almost have no time. So let's see. For the calendar, just use your common sense, okay? Calendar is for human interaction with nature. It involves both things. So it must reflect the season. It must be easy to use. Okay, and then so if you understand that, the best one is solar plus lunar. And what is the calendar that reflects that? Chinese calendar. That's the best. Okay. Actually, I mean this is a simple story, but you do a study, you have to agree about that. And our calendar is the worst. Okay. By the way, okay. Anyhow, so so when I talk about method, think naturally. Okay, but just by common sense. The enemy of the natural thinking is ideology, prejudice, something you already have set in your mind. Okay, people often are not aware of that. So in the medieval Europe, they lost the Greek wisdom and always sought answer from the doctrine, the Bible or Aristotle. So here's an interesting story. Aristotle said that the horse had 40 teeth, and then the people debate, how many teeth the horse has. And then somebody suggests that they should just go to the stable and count, right? And then somebody replied that if the horse has 38 teeth, it's the horse's fault. It's not that. Okay, this story is attributed. Something like this is attributed to the Francis Bacon, and actually that attribution is also wrong. Okay, this is actually a common story. So anyhow, think very naturally. Okay, don't follow doctrine. The other thing you should do is think rationally. And this rational thinking in the Western countries, it was developed during the Renaissance. And so it was, the people realized that the human can gain truth from rational thinking independent of doctrine, okay? My hero in this case is Copernicus, okay? Nicholas Copernicus. Okay, so then the scientific method was developed. All these kind of things, okay? So I won't say any more about this. I'm sorry I go over the time, but it's supposed to be one semester thing, okay? Yeah, so these are the things I should, I think for the method part, we should have open mind, no ideology, no prejudice. Actually, I try to particularly say that, and avoid any morality argument. Okay, whenever I see somebody say independent journalist, or independent commentator, or independent something, or something like with a fancy name, okay? Any kind of moral name, I am suspicious about that. Okay, I mean this may make some people uncomfortable. Okay, any organization with human rights in it, I really have doubt about that. I will check their website, and often the organization just have a couple of people. Okay, and I don't know what makes give them the authority to be the final word in human rights. Okay, I mean for example. So and also beware of subconscious trap. Sometimes when you talk to the people, they already, how do I say this? I mean, sometimes they already set the agenda. It has to be this or that. So you are forced to choose between this or that. Actually, sometimes you should think about out of the box. It doesn't have to be these two choices. The answer can be completely outside of your whatever is set to you. Anyhow, so I really cannot. So I really try to say the personal integrity. Okay, so you cannot just use a reason just to defeat any other people. You have to believe the reason by yourself. Okay. Anyhow, so in this way, I should also give you one example. Also, my hero, John Locke. Okay. So everybody who want to argue about democracy, okay, should know a little bit about John Locke. Okay. So he actually started his argument by starting from the natural law, and then from that he deduced something about the private property, and then about the legitimacy of the government, okay, and the consensus, and then from that the idea of democracy and actually capitalism came out, and actually U.S. Constitution is influenced by that. So if you don't know anything about this, actually I have to say a very harsh word. Okay, you're not qualified to talk about democracy. Okay, I mean, you need to be aware of this historical development. Okay, I mean, you don't have to agree with him, but that is the scientific method. That's the method to discuss the concept and things. Anyhow, so the material. It's a very simple thing. Just for example, the recent news: U.S. aircraft carrier denied a port call into Hong Kong. I think it's called St. Denis or something like that. And so what are the relevant backgrounds? If you really need to understand the meaning of this, there are lots of things, okay? Related news about freedom of navigation. the International Court of Arbitration case against China, man-made islands, all these kind of things. Some news about that, you need to know about that. And you also need to know the background geography. Nansha, Zhongsha, Xisha, where are they? Okay? And military things and engineering, how these islands are made. And the United Nations Convention on the Law of Sea, okay? All these kind of background material. And history, line, who claims what, who has what, past wars and incidents, all these kind of things. Only if you have, you don't have to know every detail, but if you know lots of these, then you can make a good judgment on what's really going on, okay? What the world politics is really like and what we'll end up with, okay? So that requires lots of reading, okay? Anyhow, so for the readings, I recommend, this is only the Western viewpoint. Plato, Locke, Mills. Mills is about, if you want to talk about freedom of speech, you got to read the Mills, okay? And you understand, that's not the only thing, okay? And history, all these kind of history, and also the news, okay? I take the United States, British, and the Russian as an example. And the research, lots of things on the internet. It's very easy to find, and it's just nowadays it's much easier, and you should do that. Travel not just to the better place, also go to some place that's sort of worse, and then experience, so you have a more balanced view. And okay, so this is my opinion. If you don't have achievement, you are not qualified to criticize. Okay. So often we see that the people criticize the government. Okay, oh, they do this wrong or they do that wrong. Okay, they shouldn't do this or that. I mean, they are trying to work certain things out. Okay, nothing simple. Okay, I mean, I have lots of things I try to do, but I would be happy if I do 50% of that. Okay, so if you have never achieved certain things, how can you criticize the people who actually do the work? I mean, you don't appreciate how difficult the work is. I mean, these kind of things, okay? Anyhow, so you need all these kind of things in order to get, I haven't even touched some of the Chinese material, okay? Chinese history on the Chinese, that kind of things. So only if you have these kind of things, then you could have a more nuanced, more balanced view, a better judgment, on everything, okay? So the last thing is the picture, okay? With the mountain, beautiful mountain picture. This is the HKUST. Thank you.